make sure that we understand is we have all of this activity in our bodies from the nervous system. We have talked about the central nervous system. We have talked about the peripheral nervous system. We've talked about the autonomic nervous system, which has our sympathetic and parasympathetic. And we have now gotten into what we are referring to as the senses. And we've got this difference between what is our general sense and what is our special senses. Because the special senses are definitely going to be in the head, okay? When we left off, we were talking about how we have pain receptors, those nociceptors, all right, that's the term for the pain receptors. And one of the things, now, do you happen to remember what part of the body doesn't have any nociceptors or pain receptors? The brain. And the other organs of our body, they have to be able to let us know when something is wrong. So what it does is it makes an area of our skin body, all right, hurt to let us know that that organ is affected in some way. So that was the point that we left off, and how these areas, if there's pain there, it could actually be indicative of something being wrong with an organ of the body. So now, as we move forward, whoops, wrong computer. As we move forward into our special senses, one of the things that your textbook is going to do, it's going to get extremely detailed about these special senses. I'm trying to keep it on a level that's easy to understand, and what I think you're going to need to know for your programs and your tests that you're going to have to take for those programs. So the first sense that we're going to talk about, because do you remember how when we were talking about, okay, we're going to have photoreceptors, for example, which are going to be picking up light. We have mechanoreceptors, all these different types of receptors. So one of them was chemoreceptors, the ones for chemicals. So one of the things we're going to look at our chemical senses. The chemical senses are going to be taste and smell. One of the things that has to happen with these chemical senses, they have to have a medium for molecules to dissolve. All right? For example, smell, we've got the mucosa in our nose. All right? For taste, we've got our saliva, all this medium that's going to allow molecules to dissolve. So let's think about gustation. Ever heard of that term? Okay, gustatory. See Brian shaking his head. Ever heard of that? Okay, whenever you hear something in the form of gustation, that's letting you know they're talking something about taste, eating, okay? Taste is also known as, aka, gustation. Taste buds. Have y'all ever thought about your taste buds? All right. When?
When I burn them.
When you burn them on hot coffee?
When you isolate something that you don't anymore.
Okay. You might have used to have had it, and sometimes it can be the reverse. You now have a taste for something that you normally wouldn't eat.
I just heard like from the little testing where you can test like people who have
Oh, the
multiple-
PTC testing?
Like
Yeah,
black.
To see whether they're a taster
Yeah.
or not. Yeah, for genetics. Okay.
When your mouth starts to water.
When your mouth starts to water.
All those
Okay.
people who drink those fancy wines.
The people who drink those fancy wines. You mean that's not in a box? So I know, and you know, it's
Look at
like,
that winger now.
do any of you think that you have one of your tastes, like you have a taste for something more than you do other stuff? Some people, like
Salty.
for example, want something more salty than they do sweet. Okay? Taste cells, to me, are pretty cool. All right? When we look at the tongue, one of the things about the tongue is going to have areas on it. And each area, I think your textbook or your lab manual will have a representation of where the tastes are found on the tongue. And one of the things that got mentioned, Brian mentioned, okay, well, when I burn them, drinking my hot coffee. Up to this point, we have pretty much learned that any type of nerve cell doesn't repair. Is that correct?
Nails on chocolate.
This is one of the two senses that will have the cells be able to get replaced. So the taste that we have, okay, for example, when we burn our tongue, they actually get replaced. They're replaced all the time. They have a certain time span, and then they are replaced. When we look at these taste buds that we're kind of familiar with, because we hear people talk about that, within those taste buds, we have sensory cells. Sensory meaning information goes in, okay, and when we do have a stimulus, that stimulus is termed a tastant. It is chemical because the taste that we have, it comes from the actual physical eating that we do. All right? Now, any other sense or senses that you can think of that play a part in taste?
Smell.
Smell,
Maybe texture, touch.
sight, texture, okay? Other things play a part in this, but the actual stimulus is going to be the food that we eat. It has to dissolve in our saliva. When that happens, the structure that we have for the tongue and the taste buds. Because once again, like I said, your textbook's going to get very detailed. It's going to talk about the different areas of the tongue, and for our purposes, the taste buds, okay, are going to be the ones that can actually pick up these chemicals. Not all taste buds do that. You will have some taste buds that are not going to be used for taste. When we look at the taste buds that are, their structure, look at this. It looks like pink and blue bananas. All right? On our tongue, we'll have a pore, the little opening. This is our taste pore. Now, look at the structure that we have for a taste bud. These bananas. All right? What do you notice?
They have a nucleus.
Only the pink ones have the nerve fibers, the sensory nerve fibers coming off.
Only the pink ones have the nerve fiber attached. Well, I'm not worried about that. That's general. That's the general structure of a cell. Do you notice that only the pink ones have the nerve, that little end, attached to it?
They're also the only one with taste hairs.
They're
also the only ones with taste hairs.
They are also the ones that have the hair, the taste hair. Now, note, those are right here at the taste pore. So here's what will happen. We'll eat something, saliva, we need the saliva for us to be able to actually chew that food. Is that correct? Be able to chew it, get it. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but when you eat the food you eat, as you chew it, it actually forms into what we call a bolus, a ball. And that is what gets moved into the digestive system. So it all starts here. As saliva is getting created and we're breaking down the foodstuffs, that floods the taste pore. When it floods the taste pore, it stimulates the taste hairs. Is everybody following me? When we stimulate the taste hairs, they're the ones that are connected to the nerve fiber. So therefore, we get to have synapsing occur on the nerve. And this begins to follow a path. This would be my axon. And what's going to happen? The pathway for taste is going to follow the facial nerve, the glossopharyngeal nerve, our vagus nerve. The taste that we pick up salty, sweet, umami. Anybody know what that is? Do what, Brian?
Is that stuff you eat when you go to sushi? Oh wait, no, that's edamame.
I thought these made it more savory or undecided.
The savory side, which is mostly picking up the meat tastes. Okay? Sour and bitter. When any of these senses are stimulated